There is a major development in the Luigi Mangione case. We have learned that Luigi's legal team is in serious negotiations with the feds in connection with the murder of Brian Thompson. And this is going to have major implications in the event a plea deal is reached. So here's what we know, that they are talking. The feds are talking to Luigi's legal team about a plea. We are told that the plea would probably involve a guilty plea to murder, but it would be an open plea, meaning that there wouldn't be a sentencing recommendation, but it would be left up to the judge. That's what we're being told. If that happens, then during a sentencing hearing, Luigi could present mitigating factors. And the mitigating factors would be things he couldn't bring up if there were a federal trial. You can't bring up the emotional disturbance argument in a federal trial. You could in state, but not in federal. But in sentencing, Luigi could get into his feelings about healthcare, his feelings about corporate greed, and how it led perhaps to an altered state that led him to commit the crime. That could lead to a sentence, perhaps, of less than life in prison. The reason this is so significant is in New York, there is legal precedent that if a federal case resolves itself and the state wants to prosecute the defendant for the same crime, that it would constitute double jeopardy. This happened with Paul Manafort in 2019, where Paul Manafort pled guilty in a federal case involving fraud, and then the state wanted to try him for the same crime, but the judge ruled that it was double jeopardy, and that was held up on appeal. So if a plea deal is reached with the feds, with Luigi, the case may never go to trial on the state level because it would be double jeopardy. So there would be one plea, no trial, and the ability for Luigi to get less than a life sentence. That is really significant. And by the way, even if the judge in the state case would deny the double jeopardy argument, there they could raise the extreme emotional disturbance defense during the trial, which is what Luigi wants to do, but the problem is you can't raise it in a federal case. So this is a really interesting, I would argue even brilliant move on the part of the defense, which would avert a state trial, which would allow him to argue to the judge that, yeah, he killed Brian Thompson, and yeah, it was wrong, but his mind was so messed up because of his feelings about corporate greed. Now, that's clearly rolling the dice, but if you look at what he has to navigate here, those may be the calmest waters Luigi Mangione could find.